While running through a park, a woman who was apparently running away from someone comes across a visually impaired person in front of her. She pushes him onto a bench next to where they were and starts kissing him, calling him my love and saying that she loved being with him. A policeman passes them, probably looking for a criminal. She tries to hide it and apologizes, saying that she confused him with her fiancé. After apologizing, she quickly leaves. The next day, the same blind man is walking down another street when he is approached by a man who asks him to stop. At that moment, he starts checking his clothes to see if he had anything valuable, and after lifting his shirt he realizes that the disabled boy was hiding a cell phone. The blind man is scared, while the robber checks if in addition to his cell phone he also has some money. Suddenly, the same woman who had bumped into the blind man in the park appears and demands that the robber immediately return his cell phone. He refuses, and she threatens him, and he fearfully returns the cell phone and leaves. The girl asks if everything is okay, and he says yes. He thanks her for the kindness, and she wants to know what someone with such a beautiful smile would be doing in that place. He says he was walking around the neighborhood, but before he even responds, someone arrives screaming for him, calling him Gustavo. It was his mother. She was nervous and wants to know about that woman and what she was doing with her son. Gustavo's mother says she doesn't want her son close to the unknown woman, and she scolds her son for going out alone and pulls him by the arm. While he tries to say that she just wanted to help him, she again tells the woman not to get close to her son. Days later, during a walk in the park, the same girl comes running to him and says that his smile is beautiful. He thanks a little awkwardly, and she wants to know what happened for him to be answering her like that. He says his mother had told him she was a thief so he wouldn't trust her. She tries to explain herself and says she regretted what she did, and that she was willing to change, and that she even returned the stolen money, putting it in the person's car. He told her that he didn't understand why she had done that. It was then that she said that it all happened because she was going through a very difficult time and that her mother needed to buy medicine, but she had no money. He asks if she doesn't work, and she comments about how hard it has been to get a job, and she promised him that in 2 weeks she would get a job. He agreed, but said he had never been this close to anyone, and that's why he was afraid to fall in love. She said fine, but asks that at least they can be friends. And she said she had a surprise for him, and taking a paper out of her pocket, asked him out. When leaving she said that from that moment on she was the one who would guide him. She took his arm and they started to walk. Sitting on a bench, she takes off his glasses, and he wanted to know why, and then, she said she would draw a picture of him. He is happy and asks if she really knew how to draw, and she replied that yes, and that it was something she liked to do. He also wanted to know if she had already taken a drawing course, and she replied that she always liked it and that she gradually improved. The two talk a lot, and at one point in the conversation she says she would like to study architecture. He was surprised, as it was also a course he would like to take. She finishes the drawing and delivers it to his hands, and says that she hopes he will keep it, because she had done it with great care. He was very happy. And then, she goes back to commenting on the beautiful smile he had. He thanked her again, and regrets not being able to see the drawing she had made. She is quite saddened by the situation, but to relax, she said that this could be taken in a positive way, because at least he wouldn't see how she had drawn him so ugly, so they laughed together. On another date, she asks him if the day was fun and he said yes. After that, she also wanted to know if he had kept the drawing she made. He says yes, that he had kept it in his house. She is worried that his mother would throw him away, but he claims that she wouldn't, and that he would have something to tell her. She was curious, so he said that her mother was talking to a specialist and that he had given him hope that he would see again. She was very happy, but worried. She wanted to know if he would go away, leaving her alone. He said no, it would be right there in the city. At that moment, she is saddened, saying that when he sees again, he will no longer care about her. He said no, that he will always want her around, and then, tenderly, he took her hands. Then she once again compliments your smile and gives you a kiss on the cheek. Arriving at her house, she runs out and hides behind the gate, because her mother suddenly appeared, annoyed. She wanted to know where he was and that she was worried. He apologizes and says he left for a walk. She calls him in, while the woman remains hidden behind the gate. Gustavo's mother became suspicious and then saw her hiding, and angrily said she would call the police if she insisted on staying close to her son. And she replies that she didn't want to hurt Gustavo and that she was in love with him, but the mother got even more angry and said that she didn't allow any kind of relationship between them. She insisted on trying to convince her that she had changed, but it was no use. Gustavo's mother kept saying that if she didn't disappear, she would call the police, and that she was supposed to leave. But she kept insisting that she had changed and that she loved him. Gustavo's mother says that it is impossible for them to be together, and closes the gate in the woman's face, and furiously enters the house, and she very sadly leaves with her head down. The next day, she is faced with a scene that made her very sad. Gustavo's mother putting a suitcase inside a car, as if she was ready to go traveling with her son. And that really was it, and together with the son they leave, leaving the woman very upset. Seeing them leaving, she desperately runs after the car, but it's no use. Years have passed, the same woman, but now a trained architect, goes to meet a client, who she would never have imagined who it would be. On her cell phone and with her head down, this client asks her to wait for him to resolve an issue before talking, and she can't believe what she's seeing, because years later, that visually impaired person who one day appeared in her life and then disappeared, was there in front of her again, and better, without any kind of disability. She excitedly says again how beautiful his smile was to see if he remembered about her, and he with that wide smile, knew right away who that architect was in front of him.